What's up, guys? Alex here with Off the Cuff Reviews, and welcome back to another special video that I have for you guys. I'm going to be reviewing The Invisible Man. Let's get to it. So The Invisible Man stars Elizabeth Moss, and it's directed and written by Leigh Whannell. Now, this film is a remake, reboot, rehashing of the legendary story that was written by H.G. Wells, and it was actually originally turned into a movie a long time ago called The Invisible Man. So they decided to kind of take that story and modernize it, and because what Universal is trying to do is they're trying to revive their creature franchise thing. The rights, they own the rights to all these stories, and they're trying to reboot them basically, and they enlisted the help of Blumhouse connoisseur Jason Blum, and what they wanted to kind of take that aspect of the horror and put it into the story and then modernize it for the new generation. The performances in this film are all great by every single one of the actors and actresses. All of the action is amazing, but this film lacks a lot of different things, and I will get into that in a second. Another thing I want to praise this film for, first off, is the use of tracking shots, because those tracking shots really built the tension. So they kind of reminded me of Paranormal Activity, where they had the camera and it was just panning across the room, but you couldn't see what was there, but you knew that something was there. Or they'll have like Elizabeth Moss off in the corner of the shot, and the main focus of the shot is just nothing. So but you're led to believe that there's something there, and that's what builds the tension throughout this entire film, and that's what they do the best at this. That's what they do the best. Leigh Whannell actually does an amazing job at directing action for the big screen. He actually wrote and acted in Saw, and I kind of think that's where he got a lot of his fresh takes on the industry, because Saw definitely pushed the boundaries. Now, he didn't direct that, but what he did was he kind of took a little bit of the cues from that, and then he started using his own style, and he brought that to his 2018 film Upgrade, and a lot of people loved that. I actually don't even believe I've seen that one yet, but from the trailers, it looks like it was actually done in a very new, innovative way, and Leigh Whannell takes those innovative shots and he puts them to use in this film for The Invisible Man. The shortcomings, though, were a little bit too hard to overlook. There's a lot of things in the movie that they basically just expect you to explain away with quote-unquote movie logic. Now, what that is basically you have to just rely on the fact that it's a movie and it's not real, and then you're just kind of left there like, well, this just doesn't make sense. But like, they just kind of think that you're just going to overlook it, but there's just so many things that you can't overlook. One of them is I'm not going to ruin anything or spoil anything. I guess it's like a mild spoiler. One of them is there's a scene in a restaurant. I won't go into too much detail about the scene, but what happens in the restaurant, they don't really explain too well. Like they just kind of want you to accept that this happened, and they could have easily just done this shot in a different location, and it would have just solved that entire problem of us just accepting that this happened, rather than making it actually logical. And there's just a bunch of little nuanced things like that I think actually hold this film back from being great. It is good, but I don't think it is great. Another shortcoming is the fact that the first act is very, very slow to get going. The first scene of the film is where you kind of get to know who the characters are and what situation they're in, because Elizabeth Moss is in this abusive relationship, and you kind of get to see a little bit of the control aspect and her escape from this relationship. But after that, it just is very, very slow, and it takes a long time to build up to that, like halfway through like the second act into the third act, where they really ramp up the action. Because once the action starts to the literal last shot in the film, it is bar none just action packed. You are on the edge of your seat, and they should have probably did a little bit more of the action, or at least made the other characters in the film, a little bit more enjoyable or likable. It was just kind of bland. It was just it felt like another Blumhouse movie. Like these characters felt like they were Blumhouse characters, besides Elizabeth Moss, because Elizabeth Moth or Elizabeth Moss? Elizabeth Moss is actually very great, and she's great in this film. And I don't want to let these other performances, not that the other performances are bad, it's just that their source material isn't that good. So when Jason Blum directs or not directs, but like when he helps produce a film like this, the characters are just kind of like just middle of the road, just tropey. Everything is just kind of bland. I don't really like care about those characters that much. So that's where the boring aspect of the first part of the film comes in, but then it just ramps up. So from then on, it just actually goes until the actual last shot of the film. I'm not even joking. It's the literal last shot of the film where you're just finally like, wow, I can breathe again. Because it just grabs you by the throat, and it does not let you go until the literal last shot. And even then you're like, wow. So this film would have been great if those shortcomings weren't in the film, but I feel like a lot of people now are overlooking those shortcomings because this is the first fresh, decent film of 2020, in my opinion. This is one of the better films to come out so far. I mean, I know we're only in February, but the films that have preceded this have been really fucking bad. So like have been so bad that people probably aren't even seeing them. Like, they're that bad. So once this one comes out, everyone's like, oh, this is anticipated. All the critics are loving it. So I'm going to give this film a B. Hey everybody, if you like this, don't forget to drop a comment, like, and subscribe, and I will definitely see you next time. Please, 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 please share this with your friends. If you enjoyed this, maybe they will enjoy it too. Now, I wanted to do one other special thing, and in one of my last videos, I believe it was my Birds of Prey video, I said if you subscribed and dropped a comment that I was going to be doing a couple of shout outs. I got a few spam comments on that video, just because, like, from people that aren't even subscribed to me, just because, you know, that's just the nature of it. So I didn't even bother with those. I do appreciate them because, you know, hey, I'm getting comments, but I'm not going to give those people shout outs. I'm going to give them shout outs to like the real non-spam people. And those people are going to be EJ Moreno. He's actually a newer subscriber, person. I believe we followed each other on Instagram first. He's awesome. He has his own channel, so you definitely should go check that out. I'll link it in the description. The next person I want to give a shout out to is my good friend Alan from France, actually. He kind of goes back and forth from France to Cali all the time. I met him a long time ago on the internet, actually, on MySpace, of all things. He's an awesome musician, and he loves films, and we've just kind of been friends ever since connecting all those years ago. And one last shout out, I believe it's a newer subscriber from that we met on Letterboxd, but his name is Justin Kirby, and Dude, I love your comment. Thanks. I also want to apologize because I am a little bit under the weather. That's why my voice is a little bit weird. I'm not really as energetic as I normally am. And Also, because I keep stuttering, I'm going to try to cut a lot of these stutters out. So if there's a lot of edits in this video, that's why. I just wanted to apologize for that. But definitely check out The Invisible Man. This movie is definitely not bad in any means. It's one of the better films to come out of 2020 so far. So please, please go check it out. And I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe.